Welcome back to the AI Breakdown Brief, all the AI headline news you need in around 5 minutes. We kick off today with an acquisition. OpenAI has acquired the team at Global Illumination. Now, Global Illumination isn't some huge company. This isn't some major consolidation story in AI or anything like that. And the announcement is pretty muted. OpenAI writes the entire team has joined OpenAI to work on our core projects, including ChatGPT. Global Illumination is a company that has been leveraging AI to build creative tools, infrastructure, and digital experiences. The team previously designed and built products early on at Instagram and Facebook, and have also made significant contributions at YouTube, Google, Pixar, Riot Games, and other notable companies. So why is this notable? Well, one, people in the know identify some of the engineers at Global Illumination as extremely top talent. Entrepreneur and fellow AI podcaster Elad Gil says, Global Illumination had some of the best systems engineers from Instagram, fire emoji. Then others are speculating about what it means for the relationship between OpenAI and the developers working on its API. Of course, one of the big risks for people using APIs from OpenAI or any other company is if the company hosting the API decides that they would like to build a product that competes with some product that's already being built on the API. OpenAI has spent a lot of time reassuring developers that with the exception of a few very clear use cases, such as ChatGPT for Business, their intention is not to go out and compete with the people who are building in their developer ecosystem. However, some people think that this acquisition suggests that that's not necessarily the case. Investor Michael Dempsey writes, it's going to be fun the first time OpenAI acquires a fully distributed AI SaaS product team, and the entire startup world building on the API collectively wonders if they're about to get Amazoned or not. Now, the other reason that some people are interested is what Global Illumination has been spending their time on. Brian Romley points out, Global Illumination created a version of open source Minecraft. The future of this sort will shock you. NVIDIA's Dr. Jim Fan had something similar to say. He wrote, OpenAI just acquired a company called Global Illumination that makes open source Minecraft clone. What's next? Multi-agent civilization sim running on GPT-5? Maybe Minecraft is indeed all you need for AGI. I'm intrigued. Now, this is particularly interesting coming from Jim because his pinned tweet is in fact all about an experiment that his team at NVIDIA did that put GPT-4 in the context of Minecraft. In May, Jim wrote, what if we set GPT-4 free in Minecraft? I'm excited to announce Voyager, the first lifelong learning agent that plays Minecraft purely in context. Voyager continuously improves itself by writing, refining, committing, and retrieving code from a skill library. GPT-4 unlocks a new paradigm. Training is code execution rather than gradient descent. Trained model is a code base of skills that Voyager iteratively composes rather than matrices of floats. We are pushing no gradient architecture to its limit. Voyager rapidly becomes a seasoned explorer. In Minecraft, it obtains 3.3x more unique items, travels 2.3x longer distances, and unlocks key tech tree milestones up to 15.3 times faster than previous methods. Let generalist agents emerge in Minecraft. And just to put a fine point on the excitement here, Jim continues, generally capable autonomous agents are the next frontier of AI. They continuously explore, plan, and develop new skills in open-ended worlds, driven by survival and curiosity. Minecraft is by far the best testbed with endless possibilities for agents. Jim then goes on to explain how agents within the Voyager experiment actually write programs to achieve goals, and then save successful programs in a database that they can pull back from. In other words, building a skill library over time. And so, the question becomes, is OpenAI's acquisition of Global Illumination just about great talent, or is it instead about creating an environment in which the next generation of AI agents can learn and develop? Next up, consulting firm McKinsey has unveiled its own new generative AI tool. Now, hearkening back to yesterday's episode about both how the AI hype had peaked, as well as about what happens next, one of the predictions that I had is that you're going to start to see more big enterprises unveil their own custom-created generative AI tools, or LLMs, that are trained on their data, that are often built on top of open source protocols, and that because they are created and maintained by the company themselves, avoid some of the security and data issues that have come up around third-party services like ChatGPT. McKinsey's Lily is basically exactly that. McKinsey, of course, creates huge volumes of data from all of its client engagements, and all of that served to help train and create a repository for Lily, which is based on more than 100,000 documents and interview transcripts. Not only does this position McKinsey well as a firm that's actually figuring out how to use AI tools as they're teaching their clients how to use AI tools, but it also just genuinely seems like a great use of an LLM to be able to pull insight from all of that work that had been done previously, but which was previously siloed off in the context of any particular engagement. Speaking of AI in the enterprise, AMD has just released a survey of 2,500 global IT leaders, and generally speaking, they are definitely bullish on AI. According to the survey, 67% of those IT leaders surveyed think that AI can increase employee efficiency. 68% favor using AI to, quote, help work models run more efficiently. Now, interestingly contrasting that is that 50% of these IT leaders haven't yet experimented with new tools like ChatGPT, and 50% believe that their organizations are not yet ready to implement AI right now. The three biggest factors standing in the way of adoption, they said, were security risks, lack of IT infrastructure, and the need for more training. Moving over to markets for a moment, Norway's wealth fund had a massive first half of 2023. Their sovereign wealth fund, which is the largest single stockholder in the world, was up 143 billion over the last 2 quarters, driven in large part by a 39% increase in tech stocks. Fund managers see a lot of that because of the excitement around AI and the shift of investors from viewing AI as something with future potential to something, as CEO Trond Grande put it, of that potential being realized and priced in. At the same time, however, the fund is worried that they might be overexposed to tech companies now, and when asked about a possible crash in tech stocks, the fund said, "We are always conscious and worried about the biggest exposures of the fund. Now they are in the tech sector, therefore we monitor that very thoroughly." Lastly today, one final follow-up from yesterday's episode. With near perfect timing, yesterday Gartner announced that generative AI was at the very, very peak of inflated expectations in their famous hype cycle for emerging technologies chart. Now, for those unfamiliar, the hype cycle for emerging technologies is a chart that shows a pretty standard progression that new technologies tend to go through, where some innovation triggers a raise in expectations, which eventually comes to a peak, followed by what they call a trough of disillusionment, where people are starting to write off the technology and move on to other things, followed by a more steady sloping incline, and ultimately what they call a plateau of productivity, where the technology is actually influencing the world in the way that all those people thought it might. Now, this is, of course, just one firm's contention about where AI is, but it certainly matches all those factors that we talked about yesterday. Anyways, that is going to do it for today's AI Breakdown Brief. Thanks for listening or watching as always, and I'll be back soon with the main AI Breakdown.